And I think we saw Catherine Diviney here, who's our guest speaker for tonight, although she might have since found her way out of this meeting. Oh, there she is. Were you under the WHCTV logo?
No, I'm coming up as WebEx Council because I was previously logged on for our Clean Energy Commission meeting.
Well, that works here.
Sorry.
That's all right. Good evening.
I was trying to edit it. It's not as easy as Zoom to like edit your name. I can't do it.
Well, we'll consider you to be the authority in the room then, as we will generally with the topic at hand. All right, so we might as well get started. I think we're going to have a couple of folks showing up late, and of course, these are all recorded for posterity. So time is 7:04. Gaveling in for Conservation and Environment Commission meeting on Monday, March 29th, 2021. I think we're still doing our pro forma virtual meeting instructions at the start of these meetings. So the public hearing in this public meeting will be conducted exclusively as a virtual meeting in accordance with the Town Planning and Zoning Commission rules and regulations for the transaction of business and executive orders number 7B and 7I issued by Governor Ned Lamont. The public hearings will be broadcast live on television on West Hartford Community Interactive Comcast Channel 5 and Frontier Channel 6098 and stream live at www.whctv.org. Calling us to attendance here, we'll do a quick round robin. Jessica Shaver-Helmecki and Emily Sexton have excused themselves in advance. Emily Scott.
Present.
Ted Newton.
Present.
Ronnie Rodman.
Present.
Matt Masunis, present. Rick Bush. Sean Daly. All right, moving on to old business, approval of February 22nd, 2021 minutes. Any takers?
Do we have a quorum for that? Do we need one?
I figured we'd try and get rejected later. We are 8 members. We have 4 present right now. So we could either, we'll try punting it to the end of the agenda in the event that numbers 5 and 6 show up. And if not, we'll approve both last month's and this month's minutes at the April meeting. Moving on to number 3, new business. Presentation from Catherine Diviney, welcome, regarding the new West Hartford Sustainability Advisory Group. And what this newly formed group that the town council is assembling will be doing to support the town's sustainability efforts and how we can help. So without further ado, Catherine Diviney, welcome, and thanks for guest speaking to our commission tonight.
Sure, Matt, no problem. So I'm Catherine Diviney, the part-time energy specialist for the town and Board of Ed. I don't really have a presentation, so to speak, tonight, but I will share my screen if that's okay. I think most of you have probably heard already. Where am I? Oh, let's go here. Oh, no, that's not the right one.
It is a screen share, so that worked.
I know. Sharing. Let me just share my desktop. Okay.
I've got an increasing appetite to make these meetings less formal, and so this is suiting it.
Oh, good. Okay, sorry. Sorry. So I think Matt and I spoke briefly before, and I think you guys are probably already aware, you might not have been ahead of time, but the town recently at its, the town council at its February 23rd meeting passed a resolution to establish a sustainability advisory group. I know you guys are aware because Ted Newton has graciously volunteered to be your commission's representative on this advisory group. But I just wanted
Thanks,
to
Ted,
go
for his
over.
stepping up as an emissary. Absolutely. Great job, Ted.
So I just wanted to share with you, in case you guys, it hadn't come across your desks directly, the announcement that was sent out, and answer any questions, give you a little bit more information about what the town manager envisions this commission doing and how it fits into the big picture, and then field any questions you might have. So I think you are all probably also aware of the Sustainable Connecticut program, a voluntary municipal certification program in the state that looks at actions in a variety of different categories, not just energy and the environment, but arts and culture and equity and various things. So this announcement, focuses on the fact that this advisory group will be assisting in the preparation of the town's 2021 application for certification under Sustainable Connecticut. The town is looking to become silver certified, which is the highest level of certification available in the program. Our bronze certification from 2018 expires this year. So this advisory group will assist the town in the preparation of that application. And the reason we did that is we feel like kind of that immediate work and using that as a framework for this commission will kind of help the commission and serve to get them kind of up to speed and well grounded in what's going on in sustainability, not only in the town, because this focuses on actions that are happening both in the community and supported by the town, as well as in the town operations itself. So we kind of feel like that exercise, preparing the application, which is due at the end of August, will be a nice introduction and give them a good overview of what's going on. Then following that, again, as you see, if you read down this, we established it February 23rd. We're looking for about 20 residents, and we're anticipating that these residents would serve for a 10 to 12 month period. Now, I just said the application is due at the end of August, so that means we envision this group continuing after that. And kind of the secondary or follow-on piece, which may even be more important, is we're kind of looking to this group to assess kind of the current sustainability initiatives that are going on in the town, and kind of take a look at where there are gaps or how our path forward can be better served. So we're looking for some advice, hence advisory group. So that's kind of what it's all about. I think the first activity, the Sustainable Connecticut application, will probably involve this group doing kind of some independent work or some research, gathering information. And then the second piece, kind of making some assessments and recommendation, is more of a kind of planning exercise where the town is seeking more community input, developing recommendations, and kind of then summarizing them and presenting them to the town council. We have this initial announcement went out at the beginning of March, looking for candidates to send in letters of interest by the end of March. I don't know how many letters we've had so far. I know in the first couple of weeks, about a dozen or so letters came in. So I haven't seen what the file folder looks like today. They're being collected by the town clerk. And ultimately, the group's members will be appointed by the town manager. Also, as part of this advisory group, we've asked quite a lot of commissions that the town felt were relevant to sustainability planning to send liaisons, just like Ted has volunteered to do. The Clean Energy Commission will be sending someone by PED. So various commissions have already already identified who those people will be, to kind of interact and pull information back and forth between the different groups. So I guess I'll stop there. I can show you the actual resolution if you haven't seen it, or I can just answer some questions.
I don't recall if I've seen the resolution, although I watched the council meeting at which it took place. If you have it at hand, happy to take a browse at that.
Yep. So here's the resolution. The resolution is actually probably by design a little bit even more vague in its kind of vision for what this group is going to do than what I just told you. It goes into some of the background of the Sustainable Connecticut program, some of the benefits from that program, where we are, as I discussed. And then the resolution that the town manager is directed to work on the application and is authorized to establish the advisory group to make recommendations on action steps and completing the application. And then again, a little bit of vagueness around proposing strategies and objectives for sustainability related initiatives and programs. In the resolution, actually, it doesn't talk about how many members this group will have. You know, we want to keep it small enough to be manageable as an advisory group, but large enough so that a variety of new voices can come to the table and reflect the diversity of West Hartford.
So Catherine, it's Ted.
Yep.
Do you know how this resolution came to be? Like who proposed it? Was it staff, town staff initiated? Was it a resident? How'd that happen? And do you, because I didn't attend the town council meeting where this was passed, but I'm just curious if you could maybe summarize the conversation that the councilors had, and if anybody raised objections to it.
So I was not at the town council meeting either, actually. I don't know. I would have to go to the videotape too. Maybe I should
I'll
have
have to do that too then.
Maybe I should have watched it. I can tell you that this has been on the mayor and the town manager's radar for quite a while. There seems to be a trend in municipalities towards sustainability commissions more broadly, and inclusive sustainability task forces or groups, which some of which don't have party representation requirement. I think, so I can tell you it's been on their radar. And then we've had some discussions about what form this should take. I think, again, West Hartford wants to be deliberate and considerate in how they do things. So this kind of temporary interim step is a good way to get community input and feedback. I do think they're looking long-term, that there may be some town actions or changes that come out of these recommendations. I don't know.
From my recollection of the meeting, it moved through, I think, pretty easily without daylight between the council members in terms of disagreements expressed. I wouldn't want to mischaracterize anything that I might be misremembering, but I think it moved through council pretty easily.
And is party affiliation consideration, or are you saying that not now?
not on an advisory group. No.
Okay, right.
No. Formal commissions are subject to those rules, but not on an advisory group.
And is there somebody who will be leading this and maybe like assigning responsibilities to the task force members or advisory group members, excuse me, or is that to be decided?
So that might be to be decided. So I do know what's been discussed so far is that this commission might start meeting around or on Earth Day as a nice pairing since it's coming up. And I do know that likely either the mayor or the town manager will be at that meeting to kind of set the stage for what this advisory group is being asked to do. They've asked me to serve as a liaison, but I don't envision me leading this group at all. I think it would be self-led. Obviously, I will provide some training around what Sustainable Connecticut is, and some of the initial steps will be finding out how to put together the pieces of that application, and figuring out a meaningful way that this group can get involved. But again, I think a lot of this is going to be self-directed intentionally.
A coalition of the willing. Good. Valuable information for me here. I knew about the durational component working toward that August timeframe of certification, but I wasn't aware of the more extended service of duty here when it comes to the members of this advisory commission, and that's great. I think that as you're assembling it, you've already got it there, so keep it running for its stated purposes.
Yeah, and again, that's unofficial. It's not laid out specifically like that in the resolution. So again, I think that will be in part up to the group in their self-directed mission, whether they feel like they can add value after the fact. Yeah, after the application is due, after the fact.
Well, that makes sense because, I was wondering about the nexus between a commission like ours, the Conservation Environment Commission, and this group, the Sustainability Advisory Group, and what that looks like on a going forward basis. That is totally to be determined from what we're hearing tonight, and that's totally reasonable. I just like that it has some that's the word I was seeking before, is persistence in terms of it potentially being around, since you've got that collective brain trust of residents who are willing to lean into advancing the town's sustainability goals. So that's cool. As far as it being written vaguely in the resolution, I think a lawyer might tell you that's a good thing, because if it's prescriptive, then it's restrictive, right? If you specify something, you're probably limited to that specification. So this allows you to move beyond that. Okay. Catherine, do you have any sense at this stage of the game what manner of activities West Hartford might be seeking certification for? Like, what was it good at last time with the Bronze Award? Do you have ideas about what you might be going for this year?
Yes.
I've shown the council at a previous, or shown the commission at a previous meeting, the vast menu, or a sampling of the vast menu of the sorts of actions that can occur under sustainable CT. So, yeah.
Well, if you want that, a little bit of that, yeah. Hold on, let me stop sharing this screen and let me pull something else up. If you guys have time, it's totally up to you.
You are the agenda item. I made sure of a limited agenda for tonight, as everyone seems to be in a busy season.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I didn't see the agenda, so I didn't realize I was the sole content. Okay, I just didn't want you to have to. Oh, that's not it.
Oh, no worries.
Looking very. Here we are.
Ted, Emily, Ronnie, if you have any questions as we go, just feel free to.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, you know me. I'm used to our Clean Energy Commission meetings, are sure quite informal. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, here we go. Let me get back to the WebEx and start sharing again. Let's see. Go. Okay. Oh, this is kind of small, eh? I don't know if you guys can see this.
I actually can.
Okay. So this is the Sustainable Connecticut Master Action Worksheet. So this is how a tool that we used back in 2018, and I've kept updated. We thought we were going for silver certification in 2020, but with COVID, and we kind of put that plan on hold and delayed till this year, our final year when our certification expires. So this is the master spreadsheet. You can see here, and this is where we track all the actions that we're tracking, and eventually we'll need some help documenting. So you can see that there are 13 different action categories, as I mentioned. They're not just energy and environment, but they're all over the place. And these expand. And under the different actions, there are about 300 different actions under these 13 different categories that go down the spreadsheet. You can see in this column right here, these are where we got our points in 2018 for bronze certification. For bronze, you need 200 points in every category. The reason we don't have points in showing in some of these categories is because Sustainable Connecticut reorganized the program quite drastically and added some categories and moved actions around. So that's why some of these are showing 0 this time. For silver certification, it's pretty much double the work of bronze. Instead of 200 points and an action in every category, you need 400 points and an action in every category. Also for certification, at both levels, you're required to do an equity toolkit action. For bronze, you might have to do 1, and for silver, you need 3 equity actions. Those are required. And what the equity toolkit is it essentially means you have to implement one of the other actions in the program of your choice, but run it through Sustainable Connecticut's equity toolkit, which is a process, not an action of itself, but a process that you apply to the other action, where you kind of think about that action in terms of who's in your community, who's not involved, whose voices aren't heard, and how do you bring that community input in and make that action better as you implement it. So as you can see, for 2021, and basically what I did for this, let's pop open one of these categories. We go through these different actions. Here's an action, it's details. We basically ran down the entire 300 action list and we said yes, or maybe, we said yes, or why, maybe, a question mark, or no. We weren't kind of tracking that action. It really wasn't ready, or we hadn't done it. And then we assigned a person. This is primarily a town person, but it could be a commission person or any other organization that we thought was involved in this action. For example, this one, implement sustainable purchasing. So the town does not have a sustainable purchasing policy, right? But the first action in this category says, have a municipal elected official and a staff member or commission member participate in training. So we said, that's doable, right? So someone from purchasing, me, a commission member, we can easily attend a training and learn about it. I think this is a great action for the town to do. I would love for West Hartford to have a sustainable purchasing policy. There was one in Portland, Oregon, where I came from, in Portland Public School District. And there are a lot of other towns in sustainable Connecticut who have done this action. So we could pull their purchasing policies, take a look at them, and maybe then, maybe this year, maybe the next time we go for certification, we can actually work on the follow-on actions, which are to actually adopt a purchasing policy like that. Anyway, so that's what we've done with this spreadsheet. We went through, these are the potential points, whether we can do it or not. That was kind of a first pass. Who might be involved, and some notes. And then this
And you
all.
said that we could pull other towns' documents and other resources, and that's because on the Sustainable CT website, we do have those resources, right?
Yes, the Sustainable Connecticut the Sustainable Connecticut website is complete. I think Matt said he showed you guys this, right? Is completely transparent. You can see
I think so, yeah.
my screen still, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's not it. Sustainable.
Catherine, was this a sustainable CT tracker worksheet, or did you and the town make this one?
So that is this is a sustainable CT worksheet that's available for download. We, however, added all these columns to the right for our own purposes, and kind of the roll up with the points tracking and the notes and the people assigned, and we went through this yes, no, maybe thing, just like you would do for a lead scorecard or something for a building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yes, Ted, to answer your question on the Sustainable Connecticut website, when you are interested in a particular action, there might be an easier way to get this, but I don't know it. So you can come to the map and you can filter the map by status, or you can filter the map by certified action. So I forget what action we were looking at. It was somewhere in here. Implement sustainable purchasing. If we filter by that action, we can see which towns: Woodbury, Glastonbury, Guilford, Stamford, Greenwich, which ones have sustainable, they received points for that action. And actually we can put in a list view, which is easier to see.
We can't.
Are you guys?
What you're showing? I don't.
Okay, I was about to ask. Can you guys see the map? It
No.
still shows the Excel sheet.
Oh no! Hold on.
But we'll take your word for it. We don't.
You didn't. Oh, stop sharing. You know why? You know why that happened? Because I shared that particular document, not my screen. Now, are you still seeing the map?
We're seeing your screen.
Probably the screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. Yep.
Okay. Let's hop back out. Okay. So this is I'm sorry, I'll go through it really quickly. So this is Sustainable Connecticut. I think Matt might have showed this to you. So when you click on this map down below, you get a map showing you all the communities, and we can filter by status. So right now we're seeing all of the blue dots are the communities that are registered, bronze certified, silver certified. You can also filter by action. So if we come down a little bit and we look at the action, the one we were just checking out, the sustainable purchasing, it's here, implement sustainable purchasing. We're going to filter, and we see these little dots for the communities that earned certification points. They completed and implemented and were successful at doing this action. So you can actually, I'm sorry, my speakers are right over my thing. Here we go. You can actually view it by list, which is a little easier to see. So we've got these 5 towns that did sustainable purchasing. And now this part's a little bit clunky, but you can click on Glastonbury. It doesn't direct you right to that action. You actually have to go to their report, and then you can scroll down and find that one. Here's Glastonbury's implement sustainable purchasing. There's their policy.
A lot of documentation there.
So we can pull this up. Here it is. And there we are.
Yeah,
So we can copy this, use it, do whatever we like. I don't know who they stole it from, but we can steal it from them. And that's one of the intentions of the Sustainable Connecticut program, is to make the process totally transparent so that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So anything that we put forward for certification will also be in the public domain and available for others to copy and use and going forward. Good.
I think it's the desire not to reinvent the wheel why over time I started really pushing CEC to start looking at sustainable CT a little bit more. So I'm glad the town established this advisory group. Catherine, can you tell us a little bit more about this community match fund that I happened to see when you were scrolling?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, forgive me if you guys don't know about that. I thought I maybe spoke to you guys about that once before, but it doesn't hurt to refresh.
Oh, that was what it meant for, was as a refresher, actually.
It's probably a long time ago. So the Sustainable Connecticut Community Match Fund is available to any project that has a community benefit in a registered Sustainable Connecticut community. It does not have to be a project that's led by the town. The town does not really even have to be involved in the project as long as they're aware of it. That's one of the requirements. And the reason for that is just really to make sure that it's not in conflict with like town zoning laws or something like that. But it basically operates like a GoFundMe site, except for the fact that the funds are matched dollar for dollar. So that whatever the project raises, if it raises $100, Sustainable Connecticut contributes another 100, and the project's fundraising is instantaneously at 200. So that's how it works. I did hear we can go to, so they have some really cool information on here about some of the past projects that have been done. West Hartford, I heard recently, I just saw Abe, the gentleman at Sustainable Connecticut who runs this, and he's really the only gatekeeper there is. This program does not operate on any formal grant cycle. Whenever you have a project idea, you literally pick up the phone or email, and Abe will tell you, yes, it qualifies, no, it doesn't. So they're really trying to make it flexible with no timelines, no real, huge documentation at the end. You really send in a picture of your project, and that's about it to show that it was done. They have some neat information here on projects that have been done.
I think you want the X on that advertisement.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No way. What's going on? Oh, here we are. But this is a nice flip book to show you some of the work that's been done. I've heard Hartford has really taken advantage of this program with, tens of projects. And then New Haven is another big contributor. I think West Hartford has had just under 10 or so projects, maybe in the 6 to 8 range, and some of them have been put on pause because of COVID. Here we were a joint kind of partner in this BC one. Unfortunately, I think the West Hartford BC location is not open, and it faced some hardships due to the downturn of COVID. But here are some other examples: bike ped trails, greenways, pollinator pathways are big. So these are all kinds of projects that have been funded through this. And then I was going to show you, so let's get out of this. You guys are testing my kind of WebEx skills here.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. Here, let's go to actually the, oh no, that's not what I wanted. I want to go to the actual page. Here we are. So they're partnered with this company called Patronicity, which actually hosts the GoFundMe sites. So here are some of the projects that are up right now and fundraising.
Fodder for ideas.
Let's see if we can find one in West Hartford.
Yeah, do you recall offhand some of the West Hartford examples beyond the BCCO one?
Yeah, right now I think what is fundraising.
I think Friends of Fern, right? For
here's
the
some.
trees.
So Friends of Fern was fully funded. Yep, that one. I'm not sure all the trees have been planted, but that one was fully funded. Here's one that was just done, and this is where I saw Abe. Actually, we took some photos in front of the new banners that you might have seen in the town center. So they, this was a project supporting local businesses where these banners were designed and installed both in the Blueback area, I think, and in West Hartford Center. So there were 23 contributors to this. They reached their fundraising goal, and those banners were just installed the other day.
So local commerce promotion also counts under that rubric of sustainability.
Absolutely. Thriving local economies is one of them. Here's another project that's up and running right now. This is the mural that's going to be painted on the back side of Noah Webster Library. This is a project that I wasn't aware of really at first, but they were talking to other people in the town, you know. So, and this is a project that's being done all across Connecticut, where they're painting, I think 39 murals across across Connecticut, one for every year of Martin Luther King's life. Yeah.
So sustainability is quite a.
Oh, so they're fully funded.
Quite a broad scope.
Yes, like. yes. This fits right under the support arts and culture.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, we're coming to this with a little different perspective because we are the Conservation and Environment Commission, you know, so we're thinking of it in that lens, but it's broader than just that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think that's partly one of the reasons for forming kind of a broader sustainability advisory group is to and pulling in members for the commission is to kind of have that cross-cutting overview and see all these different pieces fit together. Whereas, you know, when we have our Clean Energy Commission meeting, we're in our energy world. But sometimes you want to be above that and see all the linkages.
Very cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions on the community match fund or on sustainable CT? Catherine, I don't know if you have any other items that you wanted to run over with us.
Well, I mean, all I would say is that I don't think this commission is trying to, this advisory group, wrong word, is trying to supplant anything that our existing commissions are doing. You know, there's stuff under this program for everyone. We don't envision this advisory group as an advisory group, right? So they're not taking over a lot of the work that is being done on the ground, which is why, you know, we're still looking to Ted and you guys to still be involved and maybe even champion some of these actions that we have identified as kind of near-term actions that we can do for our silver certification.
So Catherine, how will the folks on the advisory group be aware of either other entities' actions? So I guess the commission representatives will probably be, that's one of the reasons why we want to have liaisons there, so that they can inform the group of what their, you know, let's say the Clean Energy Commission is doing. But what about the town initiatives too? So how will there be a town liaison beside yourself to this, who, or maybe more pointedly, are you aware of all the kind of the town efforts in these categories, so that if we are going through these 13 sections and all the dozens of items that are underneath it, that we're aware of what's going on in the town already?
Yeah, so I'm aware of quite a lot just from talking to different directors. This spreadsheet is kind of a compilation of and brain dump from a lot of town personnel, from town managers, from Helen, the director of leisure services, from Todd Dumay in planning, from you know, Bob Palmer and me in plant and facilities, from John Phillips and Catherine Bruns, our recycling coordinator on the waste management side. So a lot of that information has been kind of encapsulated in this spreadsheet, you know, and if we popped open a certain action, we might see a little more detail on various efforts. But so I think that's a starting point. But at any time, I think this commission can decide for themselves, you know, if they want to have a direct visit or interaction with one of those directors. I think I would just kind of broker that interaction so that they weren't, you know, we didn't have 20 people going to Todd directly. But if there are questions, obviously Todd's more than willing to share. But there'll be some actions on this spreadsheet that I think more directly fall on town staff to do. And then I think there are some actions on this spreadsheet which lend themselves to more community input and action, and probably the community members themselves might have better idea what's going on than the town, because again, this is, some of these action might be community led, but being supported by the town in some way with facilities or marketing efforts or things like that.
Agree. Some of these will clearly be task-based and just time-bound in nature, and others you really might call upon groups like Conservation Environment Commission and others to be putting their attention on an ongoing basis on some of these areas of attention that fall up under, for example, well-stewarded land and natural resources, or, you know, pick one. There's probably going to be a few of them, I would envision. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't want people to get sorry, Matt, sorry to talk over you for a second there. Okay. I don't want people to get kind of scared So we were pretty reasonable and conservative in what we put in this kind of yes, no, maybe category for silver certification. So it's not like we're asking community members or commissions or people to do any like seriously working from scratch, major heavy lifting policy like approval in 2 months, you know? So it's pretty reasonable, but I'll give you one example. So for example, that's coming down and coming down and coming down. Here we are. Category 5, dynamic and resilient planning. So one of these actions is around, or many of these actions are around the plan of conservation and development. Now we have a brand new POCD, which is going to earn us a bunch of points. But in order to get those points, we have to kind of pull out of our POCD and document where in it there's a discussion of sustainability and where in it there's a discussion of hazard mitigation and things like that. So Todd can do that, but it's a kind of labor intensive exercise. And there might be a community member or a volunteer out there who's really excited about our POCD and wants to go through it. Sustainable Connecticut is pretty prescriptive in how these things are done. And I think for this action, there's actually a spreadsheet matrix that someone needs to fill out, referencing where and how sustainability is incorporated into the POCD. So that might be the perfect volunteer for opportunity for someone who's really excited about sustainability in West Hartford, really wants to get up to speed and read the POCD. It's actually a great document. It may take a little time, but they may want to work with 2 or 3 different people and each tackle a different section. Maybe someone wants to work on the transportation section. Maybe someone wants to take a look at the natural resources section and kind of pull out those references to sustainability and document them in the matrix that Sustainable Connecticut provides. So that's kind of a reasonable thing, I think, and might make people feel, and as they go through that, they might be like, oh, well, why did we frame it this way? Like, so they might have questions and just could add some valuable insight and input into our current planning documents and policies.
Well, I could see why. Yeah, totally. The advisory working group was also, I think, actively trying to solicit a certain number of students or young people to join from the community as well. I could see how, what a perfect entree that is to getting introduced to the town's sustainability efforts and into what sorts of things go into that more broadly, getting that sort of experience. What a great opportunity for students.
Yep.
All right, any other?
Did I scare everyone off?
We're stunned.
No, I'm very excited. Ready to go.
Yes, and as Matt pointed out, I failed to mention that in the beginning, and I'm sorry, but youth representation is definitely an emphasis for both Sherry, the mayor, and Matt Hart, the town manager, for this committee as well.
And remind me if we've got any 3 a.m. cable access viewers. Where should potential volunteers be directing their emails/letters? Was that directly to the town manager?
It is to, here we are, West Hartford residents, minimum 14 years old. You email your letter of interest, 1 or 2 pages, to the town clerk. So there's Essie's email address. Or alternatively, you can mail it in or bring it in to the town hall.
Righteous. All right. Well, I'm excited. And I know Ted's excited because he volunteered.
Yeah. I think it'll be great. I think it's wonderful that the town is really excited to listen to and seeking out different voices. Sometimes we see a lot of the same people at the table. So I think this group hopefully will bring a broader perspective from the community.
All right. Great. Well, thanks for the preview.
Sure.
Thank you for the preview and the presentation. We appreciate it, Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay.
And you're welcome to join us anytime you like.
Okay.
I'll
I'm also free to go.
You're free to go if you like. Something tells me if you choose to stay around, you won't be on this WebEx much longer anyway. This brings us to agenda item number 4, adjournment. Are there any other points that folks would look to raise tonight? Going twice? All right. And we don't have our 5th, so it looks like February meeting minutes will be approved alongside March's in April. So with that, time is 7:55. Any motions to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
So moved for Mr. Newton and seconded by Ms. Scott. And all in favor, aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Not leaving you the opportunity. So thanks, everybody. And great seeing you tonight. Thank you for this educational opportunity to learn about sustainable CT and the town's advisory working group toward that.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
Take care.